Peace and Good Governance, Head of Mission, Nigeria International Peace Commission. You'll be unveiling to us the activities of the Commission so far and how they've contributed to salvage the issue of the ongoing insecurity the nation is facing. So back, relax. I'll be right back. Sir, welcome on the program. Sir, from your back experience, can you throw light on the economic danger of insecurity in the nation is ongoing, just facing presently, sir?
Well, this is a very a huge question because a lot of components. Security is on the one side and economy is on another side. Security is on one side and the economy is on another side. So when you're combining the two together, you are giving me a very complicated question to answer. Anyway, let me start with the security. As you know, in every country, when you have a breakdown of law and order, your economy collapses automatically. So without security, the economy cannot stand. And how do we get it right if we are talking about the security? For how long security operatives have been battling with this particular insurgency, Boko Haram, whatever, that is still not yet over? To the best of my knowledge, even though they are doing their best, but I think they have to go back to the drawing board. There are some security components that have been left behind all this while. You cannot fight insecurity in the land without securing your border. The borders have been poor over the years. I could remember there was a time when I was opportune to be in a team to Niger to capture some black spots in Nigeria. We were given the opportunity to go around and see all the surrounding borders of Nigeria. As at that time, I think that was 1988. We came out with a blueprint of how to secure these borders. Who are charged with the responsibility of taking care of the border? It's immigration. And every day you see huge amount of money being spent on the military, police, DSS, military, police, DSS. And the immigration, that is the key to the border, is being left behind all these years. All these bandits, Boko Haram, most of them are caravans from neighboring countries, Sahel region to be precise. And these people don't normally use our normal border routes. They use the porous borders to come in. They don't come in group. They come bit by bit. By the time they get into the land, they regroup and become a threat, and always engaging the military into unnecessary battle. If the borders are well secured, the military will have less to do, because the work of the military now, what the military are doing in interland, is the work of the police, internal security. So now the police is equally poor internally, that makes the police, that subjected the military to come in and battle with this bandit or whatever. So let's go back to the drawing board. The immigration. Over the years, nobody knows about immigration. The moment you mention immigration, where your mind will go is, my passport has expired, how do I get the passport renewed? So they have narrowed the immigration to only passport administration and control, which is very, very wrong. Passport was not even originally part of immigration. Passport was under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs before it was brought to the immigration. So before passport came to immigration, what have the immigration organization been doing all this while? So we have a mandate. Borders, embarkation and disembarkation means coming in and going out of the country, and that is the job of immigration. And immigration is always the first mirror when coming in and the last mirror when going out. So it's like your house. without gates or without door. You are giving free passage for any hoodlum to come to your house. Then, when the person or the individual comes into your house, now it's left for you to look for machete or whatever to start battling with them inside your house. Whereas you can easily prevent them from coming by locking the gate or putting the gate of your house. So all these are areas that people don't want to talk about, and it's very, very important. That's the issue of immigration. We have there is something they call border corps, well-trained officers. After training them, what is the end result? Nothing. They have been dumped. The people that I helping the military in the troubled areas, JTF or whatever, the immigration officers are less paid. So the issue here is the morale of the officers are low because no adequate funding for the service, no adequate operational gadgets to secure the borders. So we cannot get it right until you fund immigration very well. And let me draw your attention on something very important. The Ministry of Interior has been a stumbling block for the success or progress of immigration, always stamping the organization and disallowing it to function properly. Every minister that comes in, his interest is immigration, as if immigration is the only agency under the Interior Ministry. We have a lot of fire outbreaks in the country. You don't see the minister procuring new fighting machines. We have a lot of prison breaks. Till tomorrow, there are 3 prison breaks here and there. The minister is not busy looking for how to secure the prisons, where you keep the bad guys. When you break prison, a prison break is a very serious threat, because when a criminal is being detained and there is a prison break and he comes out of there, he becomes more brutal. He goes after the people that put him there. At the end, you will see a lot of things are getting deteriorated. And when he is in the prison, he has also formed another gang. When he is leaving the prison, he is living with them. Then you see branches being increased. The minister is not being busy looking for a way of tackling prison break. Come to civil defense. There are over 5,000 pipelines, NNPC pipelines unmanned. Mele said it. Go to the search machines, you will see it there. Over 5,000 pipelines unmanned. That's the duty of civil defense. Civil defense is supposed to be engaged in escorting VIPs and so on. But they have reduced the police to nothing. You see a police becoming orderly, carrying bags of his principals and here and there. All these things are supposed to be the work of civil defense. The minister is supposed to be more serious in engaging them, securing public buildings and escorting VIPs. But he has left all these ones. See, expatriate quota under his direct control, combined expatriate resident permits and alias CASEPAG. They are busy increasing money pursuing expatriate out of Nigeria. These are areas I expect the minister should focus attention on, not immigration. Immigration will have a CG, a capable CG. A CG of immigration is always a grassroots, a professional that is charged with that. This is a person that has been trained to head our organization. A minister is appointed as a politician. When he comes in, he knows nothing about the immigration. He knows nothing about a prison. He knows nothing about police or whatever. But they will be charged, they will be asked to oversee regimental agencies. It's not going to work. And when they come in, they engage, they look down on the CGs or heads of those agencies as if they are not, as if he knows better than them. Instead of collaboration or synergy among them, they bring this organization among them. So immigration as a case study, we should think of how immigration can be autonomous, an independent entity, well funded to deal with this situation. An agency such as immigration is as important as those military, police, and so on. More important as far as border security is concerned than even the internal security agencies, as far as the border is concerned. But they give priority to police, priority to other sister agencies than the immigration. Go to the border areas, you will see that ordinary operation vehicles, drones, necessary surveillance equipment, immigration does not have. Look at the budget. Even it is this year that the immigration budget is being jacked to 618 billion, thereabout, billion. But can this thing be enough? No. No. Because now the security gadgets are more expensive now than ever. So getting all this equipment supply, the budget of immigration can never be enough. So there must be special intervention for that organization, either from the presidency or from necessary donors, companies and so on, should come to the aid of that agency. But I insist, the nation must be an autonomous body to be able to function very well. Otherwise, we will still be dreaming and talking the talking, and nothing will happen differently. Because, sorry to drag you long, look at the Interior Ministry. Why is it that any agency brought into Interior Ministry will look for a way to run away from that ministry? That means the ministry has a lot of problems internally to tackle, not to go out and be looking for e-gate, e-passport, and see. Whereas inside your house, the department and the units or divisions under your own ministry is poor. Citizenship and Business Department of the Ministry of Interior is very poor. There are applications dumped there. Over 6 months, applications have been there for expatriate, for citizenship, for business permit, have not been approved, and the minister is not doing anything about it. But he's busy going for e-gates. He is an intelligent somebody. He's very talented, but he's doing the wrong thing at the right time. It is time the presidency should come into this matter and rescue the immigration. I don't want to know my relationship with whosoever, whether the minister is a very nice person as a person. But I'm not talking as a person, I'm talking about an institution. The ministry as an institution, or immigration as an institution, is not getting it right as a result of the interference, continuous interference of the Ministry of Interior. They brought in, custom was brought into Interior, they run away. Police was brought into Interior, they run away. So the presidency should look at it very well. What is it that is pursuing other agencies that have been brought new into this ministry and they leave? That means the ministry is not properly managing those agencies. Interior Ministry is supposed to be only to announce how do I call it, public holidays, and that's what I was made to understand now. But the work of Interior Ministry is very large. These regimental agencies are not the problem. They should take all of them out of Interior and let the ministry operate effectively. It's not necessarily because you are talking about internal security. Okay, you are talking about internal security. Police are in charge of internal security. Bring police under Interior. They are not comfortable there. They left. You see, a minister will call for a meeting. It's 10 o'clock. The CG, the IG will be there. They will not close until 4 p.m. Tomorrow you will call another meeting. As if a meeting that they are going to share national cake. It doesn't yield any fruit. And that's why the former IG under Ibrahim Idris, so many times he abandoned the meeting. He will send a DIG to go and represent him, even when they were under the Interior Ministry. Immigration will be compelled. The CG will come, leaving her work or his work in the office to attend for a meeting that will not yield fruit. The ministry should learn that immigration is a professional agency. Immigration is a regimental agency that the officers have been trained by relevant security agencies. The DSS have trained them, the War College have trained them, the NIPS have trained them, Command and Staff College have trained them. So we have more professionals than him. He should source for the good ones and stop all this interference. And again, the morale boosting is that they should stop what is called special promotion exercise. It kills the service. Special promotion does not, some people just because he's very good to the minister or is carrying minister's bag here and there, you'll be promoted from one rank, double promoting him against his seniors that have done something credible or that merit promotion. They will deny them. I have seen a controller that attended promotional interview 4 times. They will fail him. He's been passing, they will fail him. So these are the areas the new board secretary should look into it and leave all this bastardization of the system. It kills morale. When I am a deputy controller and you promote assistant controller, my junior, to be my controller, he expects me to be loyal to that person, it kills my morale. Some people will even put up resignation. And not that my junior is more talented than me. In fact, the IQ or the operational experience, the skills is even below me. Yet they put the person ahead of me. It also kills morale. So that special promotion issue, especially the last one, if I'm opportune or I have access to the president, I will ask them to reverse all this immediate special promotion that they did. They made a lot of officers sound frustrated. So go back to the immigration and get it right at the border. There will be less this. And don't forget that immigration also contributes to economic development of this country, because immigration are in charge of the expatriate. The president is busy going around the world looking for investors to come and invest. When these investors come in, it is purely immigration duty to get them registered, to get them acquainted with the relevant issues on ground. But the immigration, from the day they came in or they come in, the ministry takes over them. Their SAPAC, $2,000 you are paying for a SAPAC, where in a company that is not having even adequate electricity supply, you are collecting $2,000 for him a year. Now you want to increase the 2,000 to another, whether 3,000 they said thereabout. The president should also hold that. It's not helping matters. So my own area of understanding is that immigration first in this case of insecurity. The military, the DSS, and other relevant agencies should carry immigration along, not just COP carrying along to sit down and take a coffee and go away, or direct. Let them contribute in national security operation, whatever. Let them be fully taking place. They are taking part of all security meetings, not for minister to come and brief us. No. A CG of immigration or CG of civil defense should be part of the Security Council. But it ends there with IGP. You see, military and IGP, DSS, NIA, it ends there. And these people, the CG immigration, CG custom, CG prison, CG civil defense, are part of the security. They are part of the intelligence community. But they will be represented by their minister or so on. After the meeting, they will come and brief them. No. They have to be contributing to anything they are going to discuss. You cannot just train somebody in defense college, train somebody at the NIPS with the military. Most of the immigration at NIPS did even better than even some of the military personnel at the NIPS. But when they come in decision making, you don't involve immigration. What? Are we serious as a nation? Definitely no. So immigration, particularly, I'm serious about immigration because it touched me when I see the sensitivity of such organization and it's been left behind. I'm opportune to be around the world. I visited not less than 44 countries around the world. I've seen how other countries, including the ECOWAS countries, operate. I have seen how immigration has been taken seriously in those countries. But in my country, no. Go to Congolam, go to all these northern porous borders, Megatari, Mayadua, Lela. You go there, you will cry. You see immigration officer without even clinic to take care of their staff. You see immigration officer without even proper motorcycle. Not talking about vehicles. It's of recent that the city dispatched some of the vehicles to some border areas, but they are not enough. As it is now, if the country want to get it right, not less than 1,000 operational vehicles needed in the immigration for now to kickstart. Not less than 1,000. We have 774 local government areas. In each local government area, there is immigration office there, and immigration are not, equipped with vehicles and necessary gadgets to operate. So, if you are to give a one vehicle per one local government, you are talking about 774 local government. Then the porous border, we have 86 borders, legal borders, and we have about 14 seaport and 5 international airports. All these areas need something to be attached to that area. Then when the whole distance I mentioned are not even up to 100 legal entry or legal routes, you have over 1,400 porous or more porous. How can a legal route be just less than 100? Then the porous borders are more than 1,000, and you expect everything to be all right. It can never be all right.
Thank you very much for that elaborate response. And before we forge ahead with other questions, I think let me come to Mrs. Sulaiman Mohammed Sani, my retired Deputy Controller, Nigeria Immigration Service. Sorry, welcome to the program. From what Ambassador has outlined so far, what do you think can be done differently? You being someone who has worked on the Nigeria Immigration Service for years before serving your fatherland for 35 years before retiring, what do you think can be done differently to bring this change we are all yearning for, to make this what's called sector, this security sector, immigration to be precise, better under the leadership of Governor Bola, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
President. Okay. Well, welcome. You see, first and foremost, we have to try to define the roles of each and every department that is functional in the service or in the giving of security to the nation. The immigration, like His Excellency has already defined, is a body, or is the image maker of this great country. In the sense that in the world over, you see anybody that comes into the Nigerian territory first has a direct contact with the Nigerian Immigration Service. And the is not just ordinarily the issuance of the passports or any setback or anything. They have a vital role to play, especially at the major entry points. We have vast porous borders. These borders are ideally supposed to be manned by the Nigerian Immigration Service. And I think with the sophistication of modern technology, immigration could achieve most of these challenges. The influx of people into this country, migration from lesser countries of opportunities to Nigeria is enormous. And the immigration has minimal control because we lack facilities, we lack logistics to meet up with the influx of people. You could see the degradation of standards, security. People just come in. How many immigrations do we need to put across the porous borders? They're enormous. People have taken charge not because they want to be responsible for the security they are charged with. People just take into their hands laws and orders and begin to do things differently. I want to see a situation where every state command of the Nigerian Immigration Service is given sophistication of equipment and logistics to work with. I can assure you that majority of this insecurity can be checked by the Nigerian Immigration Service because they can control the influx of people. They can control and regulate the coming and going out of persons. It's not just about issuing passports. The Nigerian Immigration Service has offices in each and every local government area of this country. The functionality of the immigration can transcend to much more than that. Okay, take for instance now, sometimes you create duplication of responsibilities in a country like this, Nigeria. The situation where the Nigerian immigration has a database to harness the population density of this country. This idea of this names something, this national ID card issue could have been controlled by immigration. Now, imagine it's going to be not easier for the country to ascertain that, because when you can work with one database to be able to give a national identity card and a Nigerian passport. In a local government, take for instance now, in one local government, the Nigerian immigration has a standard office there that liaises with the birth registry. Every child that is given birth to in Nigeria can be registered in the immigration database with his date of birth, place of birth, and all. So as he grows, wherever he goes, and his identity number is punched into the system, he could obtain a Nigerian passport at any point in time he wants to. These are part of the functionalities of the Nigerian immigration service that have been so undermined by the system. It's not just working at the international airports and so that people just come in and go. The immigration can be charged with securing this country in as much as enough of logistics and equipment are given to them. That is as far as it is.
Thank you very much. What's now your view on the endorsement of forest guard by Mr. President, His Excellency?
Well, those are part of the duplication of responsibilities. Duplication in the sense that what the immigration can be able to do, why not put in the same resources to harness the best of immigration? In Nigeria, we have several duplications. You are driving on the street, the VIO stops you. You are driving on the street, the road safety stops you. Doing the same thing, and even the traffic warden, they stop you, they're doing the same thing. So if the immigration is charged officially to man the border entry points, why do you need to bring in other, what do you call them? Forest guards.
When civil defense have agro.
Civil defense are there.
Agro squad. They have agro squad in charge of forest. Civil defense.
The civil defense are there. The immigration are there. The customs are there. The customs are not only charged with movement of goods and services. They too are security outfits. Any security outfit that is charged to man the porous border of this country has the responsibility to protect the integrity and sovereignty of this country. Basically, you can't be there as an immigration officer and you see something going wrong and you will not take charge. You can't be at the point as a military officer and you see insecurity approaching this country and you just ignore that it's not your primary assignment. It's wrong. You are serving the same government. The same integrity of government is what you are protecting. Basically, you don't have any reason whatsoever to undermine that. Forest guards, what are they doing at the border post? The complexity of crime these days, particularly at border points, are so sophisticated that you must meet up with standard. You must meet up to challenge such insecurities. You have drug traffickers. They are sophisticated than government. You have human traffickers. They are more sophisticated than government. So all of these things are, immigration can be charged with a lot of responsibility. When we sit down and we break it, we analyze it critically, you find out that the entire of this insecurity can be charged and managed by the immigration service, given the appropriate equipments and support. I can assure you that.
And the last thing, sir, before I come to this, still on you, sir, we've had issues of security personnel compromising, especially those at the border gates. What do you think can be done to checkmate such as what's called personnel can be really passionate and loyal to our dear nation in terms of delivery of service, discharging of their service to the nation?
You see, when you work under an aggressive and adverse condition, there is nothing you cannot do. When you are compelled to work under your subordinates, there is nothing you cannot do. Like His Excellency has rightly pointed out, insubordination generates from favorism of officers. If you want to promote officers, you do it judiciously, by merit. If you bring in my subordinate to lead me, I won't give him that 100% support, because I always feel challenged that, look, the system is not doing the right thing, so why should I be doing the right thing myself? But it is mandatory that if I am given the apparatus of governance in my hand, and whoever is coming to work with me, I will make sure that he earns my respect and protection. Now, in a situation where you are working at the border post, you are not adequately remunerated. The challenges that is confronting you with your equipment of work is almost near 0%. How would you sacrifice your life with nothing to give you your best? The difficult can be done at once. It is that which is impossible that takes a little longer. As difficult as it is, maybe I have okay, I have a G3 rifle. I will stand with it. Somebody who has come with an AK-47, who am I to confront him? The entire facilities at the border post are obsolete. I left the service 2023. Those days, while we were there, as late as 1988-89, we had bikes, we had these vehicles, jeeps, with which we patrol the border posts.
Indonesia planes.
Andonia planes were flying across the border lines, and there was effectiveness from the immigration. I can bet you there is no yardstick for comparison between the immigration of that time and now. Coupled with the fact that there are more sophistications now. The global challenges now on this media is just from your phone. You could do a lot of things. What does it cost the Nigerian system or the interior to make sure they supply all of these equipments? We can man the borderlines even through GPRS, so that we have control rooms. That is the sophistication we're talking about. Once there is an issue, once the issues are identified on the system, you assign officers to challenge them. Before you know it, everything is on that check. And let's not forget, within the African sub-region, or West African sub-region, this ECOWAS protocol stuff and things like that, Nigeria is the most vibrant among the nations of ECOWAS. So the influx of the citizens into this country is so much so that the Nigerian immigration must meet up to the challenges. How would they be able to do all of that when you don't give them the facilities to do it? If you go to Kamba now, the influx of Nigerians, Benin to Nigeria is much. If you go to Ilela, it's the same thing. Go to Lagos here, Seme, Idirogu. How many officers do you have on the road to man all of those people? And yet they say there is free movement of ECOWAS member states. But that does not mean that because there is a free movement by the protocol that we must not engage in doing the needful. There are rules to every country. It doesn't mean that because we have free movement that you cannot meet up our immigration standard. No, we have immigration laws that must be respected and must be controlled. That is as far as it is. If we want to checkmate the activities of this insurgent and other things, then there is the need for the government to put in place a very strong structure that will harness the whole of these problems. Otherwise, it will all be rhetorics, stories, everyday stories. That is the whole truth. Spending money left, right, back, forward, and center, doing misplaced priority, isn't it? That is what is happening in this country now. Misplaced priority, that's what I call them. If you want to face these challenges, face them squarely, and let's deal with. Imagine a situation where you have riffraffs who cannot control, who are not even trained to use arms, challenging the Nigerian security system. It baffles my imagination, and I know any right-thinking member of society feels the same way. It's an insult to the Nigerian security network. Small ragtag rascals with small arms that cannot. I mean, let's go home and think about it. Every decent Nigerian should go home and feel so ashamed of himself. I am telling you, with all due respect, I don't mean to insult anyone, but I am telling you, my heart bleeds when I see what is happening to my country. It's really very sad. I'm a witness. I happen to be within the age bracket of those who have enjoyed certain benefits in this country. I'm witnessing the degradation of this country, the disintegration of this country, mistrust and prejudice against individual citizens. And we have a system that is not too mindful of all of that. That is the saddest reality in my life. When I was growing up, immigration is all I know. I joined immigration at a very tender age. Then we had superiors who were very, very keen about this country. I did not know at what point we got it wrong. It's not just about immigration. It's about our system. That's as bad as it is. I hope posterity will be fair to most of us, particularly those who have had hands in the destruction of this country. May Almighty God forgive them.
Thank you very much. Now back to you, sir, His Excellency. What's your view? We're talking about insecurity. What's your view on the high rate of woman trafficking, especially girl child? Because we talk fighting insecurity on one angle. The other angle, there's continuous woman trafficking. What's your view? What do you think can be done to reduce this to the barest minimum, sir?
You are still going back to immigration. So, if you could remember, at the beginning, a starting point of my interview, I mentioned how important immigration is. All this is within the scope of immigration. As my dear brother said, where did we get it wrong? In those days, there used to be Nigeria and a police immigration joint patrol on human trafficking, anti-human trafficking units. We have that anti-human trafficking unit that was very effective. And we had donations from the Netherlands, from Italian government, donation of cars, that's vehicles, and some operational gadgets, including German government.
Complete logistics.
But yes, entire logistics. Then, along the line, this thing got stopped. So, what really happened? We need to revisit all these areas. It's not about the visitation. You will travel all around. You can never get it right until you go back to the drawing board. What went wrong? Who stopped all these donations? Why did immigration? Why didn't immigration follow up with the regular donations? I think it was annual donation to police and the immigration, including luxurious buses for officers to be conveyed from one end to another, and we're doing very well. The immigration was doing very well there. Then now, even the anti-human trafficking unit is not functional, kind of. And this is the area the minister should as well. Why I'm blaming the minister in things like this is that the areas he's supposed to go, he's not touching that area. He's busy on e-gates, e-projects. Maybe those e-projects fetches, I'm sorry to say, fetches some token. That's why, because if you are bringing e-project, you bring consultants, you bring companies of your cronies that will manage all this that. Let me tell you loud and clear, we are not ripe. We are not ripe for that e-system. You cannot go into e-system in a country that is still analog. We are analog in nature. You are introducing e at the borders, at the air borders, and some of the sea borders, and the land borders are open, porous, no gates. Even the legal routes, the 86 legal route, official route, we know, no gates. They're supposed to be gates, entrance gates, with I think some kilometers of fence. We don't have that in even the official routes, and all these things have not been priority. But e application, the e-passport project on its own, I'm totally against it. Why? The way a manner passport is being vetted online, a criminal or a foreigner can easily get Nigeria passport. The NIMC is also contributing to that criminal activities. You will see Nigerians, Chadians, Cameroonians, and some other neighboring states are in possession of our names. You, as a Nigerian, you will find it at times they will frustrate you. But the foreigners will give something better. You are looking at it as my right. I'm not ready to bribe anybody to get it. By him that wants that passport for his own personal reasons, is ready to spend any amount of money to get NIMSI. Since NIMSI is the criteria, is in fact the ingredient, the sole ingredient of obtaining a passport, then let me get the NIMSI. The rest of the things, court affidavit, swearing, court affidavit, indigent letter, that you can, if you can get NIMSI, how much more indigent letter? So, and these things are not well verified, well vetted. There was a time I raised a topic. Some of my friends in the system, hey, you are taking us back to Egypt. I said, in those days, after immigration finished everything, we send files to DSS for vetting. DSS have that time. Their work is intelligence-based work. They can go to any nooks and crannies of this country to find that fact. The address this person gave us, they must go there. So if they don't get to that address, they will return it back to immigration, not cleared, and immigration cannot issue the passport. So if we are getting all workloads, why can't we go back to that Egypt and get it corrected? Then we'll go to Israel later on. The DSS must be brought in now that it is, because they have released it to us and we are getting it back. The passport in are in the hands of criminals, non-Nigerians, and most of the atrocities being committed abroad are being committed by non-Nigerians. But as far as you use a passport to ascertain who Nigerian is, the passport will tell you that the person that committed this social crime is a Nigerian, whereas he's not. Nigerians, Cameroonians, Ghanaians, Beninois are in possession of Nigeria passports. I was in the service, I was in the system, I know it very well. How did we get it right? This is the issue that we should handle head on, not this, that. It's a very good initiative, but we are not ripe yet. We are rushing into it. I don't know why it's too busy doing it. Maybe some of even the e-gates, after launching, you see they will be faulty. They are not functioning because all are Chinese second-class projects. If you want to do something, do it standardized. Don't do anything that will be applauded by the presidency. Hey, they have done well. The minister is doing well. Anytime you see this gentleman coming online to be talking, he only talk about, I have done this in the passport, this e-gate. You have not done anything, because these ones that you are mentioning, there is somebody charged with that responsibility. The money it is a hijacked project you are televising. Let's go back to your core mandate of that internal affairs issues. The citizenship and business is alone for the minister to do justice there, and we will applaud him for that. Whatever he has done with the passport is immigration. The kudos goes to the immigration, not him. If it is not this, it cannot be this. If it is not your mandate, it can never be your mandate. The president did not appoint a minister of interior to take care of passport. He appointed him to take care of the internal issues. Immigration happens to be just one of the components under him. So he should let immigration alone, use his intelligence, because he's very, very vast in all these areas. This is good at E. He should use that base project in the interior ministry. Then immigration gradually can do the needful. A policy maker he is, not operational. He makes the policy for immigration to operate. But now the system is he makes the policy and operates, which render the office of the CG more or less redundant. Let me tell you something. Of recent, they are trying, or they have centralized most of this passport vetting and so on to be only in Abuja that approve passport. Are we serious? Go to other areas. Some countries are decentralizing their system. We are busy centralizing it, and you say we should not take you back to Egypt, whereas you have already taken us back to Egypt. You are even taking us to Lebanon. So my own is that let them get it right. Decentralization, centralization of the system will not help us. We should decentralize it. During the Babangida era, he wanted even the official passport to be approved in the state by state controllers. Because why? The controllers of the state knows who and who are commissioners and SAs better. And they have a very good channel to meet the governor or SSG to confirm his letters or whatever than those in the headquarters. So if he is satisfied that these people were actually appointed by the governors and they are qualified for official passport, approval can be given by controller by notifying just the headquarters or get online clearance from the headquarters. You go ahead and issue it. You cannot procure machine, passport production machine. Each passport producing machine, one is above 100 million, if I am not mistaken, above 100 million. Then you have it in most of these states. Then now you are killing all this passport taxpayers' money and centralize it to Abuja to go and do what in Abuja? Whoever is giving this advice and evil, I'm telling you, it doesn't mean well for the service. Decentralize the system. Centralization cannot be handled in the headquarters. All this workload will be too much. The CG is busy securing the borders, and you are adding more weight, because when you bring it to the headquarters, it will be under the control of the CG alone. Even the DCGs will have limited powers. This is the headquarters we are talking about. Why do you bring it to the headquarters? What are the zonal coordinators doing? The zonal coordinator is an assistant CG. He's an assistant CG representing the CG at the zonal offices. And the one you are taking everything to Abuja, what is he doing? So if the zonal coordinator is doing nothing, how much more controller? The system will work when you decentralize powers. Let the controllers, before, when you mention controller, a commissioner of police or a commandant, you're talking about big rank. It doesn't take any non-entity to get there. But now if you see people hanging the rank of controllers, you pity the service. The future of this service, I cry for. I'm telling you, may God help us Amen. To get it right.
Amen.
No amount of CG, no matter how talented or qualified or able, the zeal to do the needful, will be able to succeed if we have a poor or a bad system. There is no Messiah that can be a Messiah in a weak foundation. It's never going to work. So human trafficking, porous borders, foreigners obtaining Nigeria identity, all this thing is at the front line, SEPAC, front line of immigration duties. Get immigration well funded. Give them autonomy
to work.
This is nothing too bad if road safety are on their own answerable to the presidency. If NDLEA is not under a ministry, and your immigration, you are caging immigration on a daily basis, what are we talking about? The DSS is directly under. Let immigration also be an autonomous. It's nothing too much to ask. All this board secretary, even though the system should look into this thing very well. Even the board secretary, this is the first time we have gotten somebody military background to head the board. The former board secretary we had was more or less a civilian in uniform, retired controller general of prisons. He bastardized the system. All these special promotions, it was in collaboration with his bad governance. If you challenge, object him, because he served the prison for 35 years and he treated the rest of the agencies like prisoners that he is, because the way he was trained to look at the prisoners, so he caged all these agencies under him. He caged them and treated them like prisoners. So we don't need them anymore. It should be rotational. When a CG prisons, a qualified CG prison try and get whatever, whether right or wrong, the next one should be former CG immigration. The next one should be former CG civil defense, and nothing bad. Or bring a retired DSS or retired general as they are doing now. Qualified. Not all this rank and file general, because there are some generals, they are generals in nature, general by rank, but the spirit of the general is not in them. So I call them generals by favoritism. We have even the CGs. Some CGs got it on the platter of gold. They are not qualified. Not only immigration, civil defense, prison, or correctional, all the same. It is hard time the presidency look into deeply into the affairs of these sensitive regimental agencies, because this thing will do us more harm than good. Civil defense as they are, they have over 80,000 bona fide staff and volunteers. Immigration have over 30,000. Custom has over 40,000 thereabout. All put together. All these four put together, you cannot even bring out 250,000. Fire service, prison, immigration, custom, civil defense. You can't get 250,000. You can't get 250,000 personnel. So what are we talking about? So if we don't get it, and most of the people recruited under the previous CGs were people that maybe were brought from the farmland and to come and work in the service. And guess what? Immigration has more senior officers than junior officers now.
Absolutely.
You go to passport office, you see ranks. You'll be asking yourself, how did it got to this stage? Go to borders, you see ranks. We are looking for men, not officers at the border and be manning fronts. Get more junior officers. The next recruitment, I urge the leadership of immigration, that's the Immigration High Command and their ministry, should look deeply into recruiting more junior officers than senior officers. And one important point I'm trying to make here. My dear friend here and brother made a very sensitive contribution. The morale boosting, and the special promotion kind of. When you want to do it on merit. It's not a bad something. But don't do it on favoritism. It will not help the situation. Could you imagine now, the CG of immigration cannot recruit level 1. Before, there's a responsibility of recruiting junior officers 1 to 7 is on the shoulder of immigration. As at the time we were in the service, I was once in the service. I resigned and joined this institution, and here I am today. I look at the system. When the system started deteriorating was after Ude, CG Ude left power. The rest is just managed. Some will come, and immigration have one. The system have one bad policy in treating immigration. The presidency, whoever was the president, did not do immigration very well. You see, civil defense from 1988 to date, civil defense produced only 3 CGs. Only 3 CGs. From immigration inception, that's from independent to date. Do you know? In fact, in civil defense, 1 CG spent 10 years. Abolori. Ghana spent 5 years. This one, another 5 years. All put together, 20 years, only 3 CGs. In 20 years, guess how many immigration controller general we produce? That time that Abolori was there, Ude was also there. After Ude, Uzoma came. After Uzoma, Arbi Musa came. After Arbi Musa, Abeshi came. Paradan came. After Paradan, Abeshi came. After Abeshi, Babandede. After Babandede, Jere. After Jere, Uraola. After Uraola, this. With this short time, calculate the whole years. Because Uzoma spent 2 years. Arbi Musa, 6 months or 5 months. Paradan, 2 years. Abeshi 1 year, Urola like 11 months, then Jere 17 months, Urora 11 months, then this CG. So no CG has gotten to 5 years apart from Babandidi and Udi. And that is where we are getting it wrong, because if one CG starts an initiative, another CG will come with another minister to turn everything around and bring their own initiative, and it's basically on passport. They will start their administration and end on passport administration and control. This is the first time that I see CG interested in border management, because the president so wise when appointing the CG, he said your core mandate is border security, and so she's busy going from one border to another, one foreign lectures on border control, and another. As I'm talking to you today, she's in Lagos attending a workshop on the maritime something that has IG and all the service paramilitary chiefs in attendance. That's what. But all this busy doing, you will finish no funding to kick start. So it all goes to square zero. So whether human trafficking or animal trafficking, it will go nowhere until you get it right. You get immigration onto the track. We have immigration that is derailed now. Get it back on the rail, and everything will go smoothly. Wallahi.
Thank you very much, Sir Excellency, for having another program.
Thank you.
Welcome back. We're hearing from our guest, the person His Excellency Hussaini Coomassie. He has took our time to outline what the needful things that need to be done under the Nigerian Immigration Service to curb the ongoing security challenge and also woman trafficking. And also one of his points took our time to seek for autonomy, immigration autonomy, so as to check line and also give them the independence they desire to get it done right on the grassroots level. So like come here again, I remain also Joseph Zwapo Legojo. Bye for now.
Oh. Right? We got it right.
I,
So,